I've been knocking this intro out too without reading it.
Well, you should start because we're already on. We're on right now.
Microphone check, microphone check. Hey, this is the world's most popular barbecue talk, barbershop talk, man cave conversation. However you like it or dislike it, it's the Heavyweight Champion Sports Talk Podcast. These are your hosts. Myself, I'm back in the building, B-Way, along with my partner in crime, Mr. Rudolph. How's your quarantine week? We're down for week 4 here.
Some of us are down for week 4, not me. I think I'm in week 3.
I think you're still out. You're still moving around.
I mean, yeah, I move around. Not like you think. Like you think I'd just be going places that are non-essential, which nothing that's not essential is open. So that's not the case.
Maybe you should go out one time and buy enough stuff to keep you in for at least 3 days,
man,
maybe a week.
My kids go through stuff, man. I can't do that.
Yes, you can. You got to prepare for it.
No,
it's called preparation.
No, that's not true.
What's it called?
What do you mean? What's it called? If that was the case, that you and Mika, well, you and your wife wouldn't go out and grab stuff that you guys need.
We rarely do. We go out once. That lasts maybe a week or 2.
Guys, yeah, exactly. Same here. But I'm also in the process of like renovating certain parts of my home, so I got to make sure I have the stuff I need for that as well. Which that requires me going to Home Depot or Lowe's or stuff like that. That's
garbage, man. Stay behind the house, because if you get me sick, I'm taking out your whole family.
No,
live on the radio, you heard it here first.
Well, at least they know who did it. At least they know who did it. You just committed to a felony, man.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
You know, I got the 2020 Dream Team.
Who's that?
Don't worry about it. They're going to get me off though. So what's going on, man? We're still fighting through, a slow sports week. I'm looking at stuff on ESPN like
you're playing horse.
Playing horse. I caught myself watching 2 guys playing video games.
That's hell. What do you mean? That's what the kids do all the time. They play online with other people. Kids been social distancing for a long time. We're just now getting used to it.
I'm struggling, man. Like I'm struggling watching with what's going on ESPN and what these guys are talking about on a regular basis.
Well, they replayed the Tiger Woods Masters win. That was pretty dope to watch. They do have, you believe it or not, they have some dope stuff to watch now. It's just it looks so bad because it wasn't HD. It wasn't 4K television and stuff. It looked so bad. It's a struggle to watch some of it.
It looked good then.
It did. Like the grass looked green and all that, but nah, it's not the same. You're looking bad.
The grass looked green.
Looking bad, man. That's a tough watch. But other than that, they still, people are still talking sports. The stuff still happens in sports. But
there is.
It's not great stuff. It ain't stuff that, like we don't want to talk about Roger Goodell calling out name for the draft in his basement, but I guess it's a story. I guess. Hey, look at us, man. We're not even in the same room for the first time ever.
We're quarantining, man. We're trying.
Yeah.
We haven't been Facebook Live in a long time.
Not together. No, we haven't.
Maybe we gotta try this new Zoom way of doing it, maybe. And we can still do our Sunday shows.
Yeah, maybe. I'm whatever, man. Whenever we want. Whenever you want, we'll do it. Get some special guests in. We should do something like on our Opinionated Facts thing, like go Facebook Live and or do a Zoom thing, send out post the password and the ID number on the Opinionated Facts page for anybody that wants to join to come in and talk sports. It'd be random. We don't know who's coming in, and we'll just, quick little 1-2 minutes, and then we get them out of there.
I like it. Maybe we can do that.
I've been thinking about that. I've been at home. See, I've been in quarantine, man, just thinking. I got things up top.
So pay attention to our Opinionated Facts Facebook page, people, and we'll let you know when that's going to happen.
Yeah, that won't take a whole lot of work. That'll be easy.
Answer your question from last week that we have to rehash.
I wasn't really a question. It was more like I thought that this was the best comeback ever, which was Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016 when they came back down 3-1 to go against Golden State. Golden State being 73-9, which was the best record in the NBA at the time. I thought that was the best comeback ever, being that they beat these guys for 33% of their losses in 3 games that they had all season. That was my thing. That was why such a big deal.
And that was a good one. And I told you I'll be back this week with a better one. Right? Now.
Said that, I don't believe you, though.
I'm going to take you back. I know you're a little young.
You had 7 days to think about it, though.
You're a little young. But I'm going to remind you of a great baseball series in 2004 with the ALCS when the Boston Red Sox came back from down 3-0.
Stop it.
Over the Yankees, which is one of the biggest rivalries in sports.
It is.
And came back and won.
It's not better than
go to the World Series.
It's not better than I don't think that's a great one. I'm actually shocked that you even come. The fact that you came up with that one. I mean, you've been working. You've been digging to find that. You would have never. You would have never.
I had that right on the dome, man.
No, you did not. No, you.
We have a good research team over here. We have a good research team.
You did not. You did not. No way you came up with that. You must have been talking to somebody or whatever the case may be. But it was still a good one. It's not a bad one.
It's better than the one you had.
It's not better. It's not. First of all, it's baseball. It's not better.
It's all baseball. That's America's post or pastime.
Stop. Nobody watches baseball. Not until the playoffs.
Well, that was the playoffs, and that was the Red Sox and the Yankees. It don't get no better.
Baseball ain't been popular since the Angels in the outfield. one of the classics.
No,
that ain't baseball, yo. About as soon as that was out, about 6 months after that was gone. Angels in the outfield. That was it. Baseball ain't been popular since.
You're crazy, man.
I can't remember. Yo, I had never watched. You know what? Maybe the only baseball movie I ever watched.
That had star power in it too, with Kurt Schilling and the blood on the sock and the.
It did.
Big Papi Ortiz. Come on, man.
We don't care about Kurt Schilling. He was taking steroids. That in itself automatically makes it no one cares anymore.
They all take steroids in baseball. That's what they do.
And that's why it would never be better than that game, the 3 games I gave you. You know what? I'm a little disappointed that you had a week to think about it and you still didn't come up with a better one.
That's the best one. I gave you the best
one. You gave me the
sports.
best one you could possibly give. So.
That's the best one. That's the best one in sports. I'm taking that over Golden State, Cleveland.
You know what? You were just searching. You wanted to find something. You couldn't. And that's okay.
I had that last week, but I didn't want to dive into it.
I gave you 2 games last week, and then you were like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't want to give you this one. But now I gave it to you.
Whatever.
And now your pride's hurt.
My pride's not hurt. I think it's a bad one. It's a good one, but it doesn't stand. It doesn't. No. Like, you tell me if they had a vote on ESPN, which games to play reruns of. You're telling me you want to watch the last 4 games of Boston Red Sox Yankees over Golden State Cleveland.
What? Which one? I would want to watch, or
yes.
The American people?
American people, though, too. You can do both. Which one gets more ratings? Better ratings?
I'm a basketball coach, so I'm obviously going to go with the basketball game. But
America chooses a basketball.
America would choose the baseball game.
You're out your mind.
If they had a scale of...
Quarantine got your head all messed up.
If they had a scale of what comeback was better, then the American people would definitely... I just saw the American people choose Michael Jordan as the best college basketball player ever.
They're dumb.
Yeah, I said that, and you said I was wrong. But they're definitely going to choose this one.
My point to you about the whole picking Michael Jordan as the best college player of all time was anything basketball, Michael's going to be picked. It doesn't matter if they say college or not. Most people didn't even know who Michael Jordan was in college.
His name was Michael.
Exactly.
No.
His name
Well,
was Mike.
Yeah, he went by Mike.
He went by Mike in college, and he went to Michael in the league. But my point is, anytime basketball is brought up, it doesn't matter what level it is. If somebody says high school, pick best high school player. We know Michael Jordan got cut his sophomore year, varsity, ended up playing JV team as a sophomore, which we all know most NBA players as freshmen usually play varsity basketball.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the American people are thinking when you look at college basketball and the stats and the history.
It's basketball.
MJ might not be top 5.
Anything basketball is going to have MJ at the top of the list, regardless of how good he was on those levels.
That's just dumb. It's dumb philosophy.
Hey,
it's dumb
man.
thinking. And it's fact based. Like we can find factual information saying that he wasn't.
I don't understand how you wear headphones that small. I mean, they're cute. They're cute.
I have small ears.
Yeah, I mean, they cover your whole ear. I'm surprised by that.
Look, I don't know why you're coming at my headphones.
I'm not coming at your headphones. I'm just telling you, they just look tiny. They look tiny.
Hey, so anyway, now that my comeback was better than your comeback,
it wasn't even close.
We can move forward.
It wasn't even close. Hey, I know one thing. Now I don't know. Like Christian McCaffrey, he always reminds me of I don't know. It's just you would expect his talent to come from someone a little darker skin.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Christian McCaffrey is
the boy got the juice.
It's safe to say he's the best running back in the league.
Running back, I feel like he's the best dual threat running back in the league. I don't want to say running back. He's the best hybrid. He's a receiver. He made the Pro Bowl as a receiver.
Who are you taking over him?
As far as what?
At running back, like Ezekiel Elliott?
No. Well, if you're talking running the ball 25 times and just running the ball, no catches, none of the out of the backfield stuff like back in the old days.
This is the new days.
Exactly. You got to catch the ball at the backfield.
Le'Veon Bell's done.
I wouldn't say done.
Gurley, you're right. Le'Veon Bell didn't have a year like he had in his past.
Right.
Same thing with Gurley.
Right.
Zeke sold out. He got the money and didn't perform.
I wouldn't say he didn't perform. He had an impressive year.
Not as impressive as he had in the past. So who you taking over Christian McCaffrey?
Currently nobody. I'm going all the way Christian McCaffrey. I think when last year when Zeke signed that 6-year, $90 million deal, I thought they overpaid for him. Like I feel like they probably, I would say by $15 million or so, they overpaid him. And then they could have used part of that money to sign Dak. But they invested more in Zeke, where I think that's a mistake. And then this Christian McCaffrey signing, I felt like he was underpaid. Even though he's the highest paid running back of all time now.
I'm about to say, in NFL history, you're called underpaid.
I still don't feel like 4 years, $64 million. Most quarterbacks right now signing $110 million, something like that.
It's $16 million per year.
He's more important on that Carolina team than any quarterback.
It's a quarterback-driven league. That's what it is. The quarterback has the market value. So you got to pay what you got to pay for a quarterback.
Christian has the market value. If he could have 2,300 yards from scrimmage last year, that's market value.
Well, he just set the new market.
$16 million a year. That's not a new market. That's wide receivers left tackle money.
He's that important. He's the best player on that team offensively
by far,
and he's a leader. This is a new coach trying to build his program around this man. I wasn't going to say this kid. I'm taking Christian McCaffrey. We're all fantasy guys here.
Yeah.
Christian goes number 1.
Nah, he didn't last year. Remember, he slid to me.
Will.
He slid to me number 3.
He will this year.
Hey, we gotta take a quick break though.
Gotta take a quick break.
Commercial break. And we'll get back to Christian McCaffrey after we come back from these messages. You're watching, or I say watching, but listening to Opinionated Facts on RTF Sports Radio. And that's it. I'm going to commercial, B. And we are back on RTF Sports Network. And my co-host was just telling you guys about Christian McCaffrey. Now he just set the new market and yada, yada, yada. I'm just beginning to think my co-host is just as smart as the rest of the American people, which is not that smart.
There you go again.
But I'm not calling you dumb. You're just not that smart. You don't come from good stock.
Who's a better running back right now than Christian McCaffrey? Outside of any quarterback right now, who's a better contributor to the football team than Christian McCaffrey?
Who's a better contributor? I'm going to say no. I mean, I had Christian McCaffrey in my fantasy team. He single-handedly won it for me this year.
So how is that dumb? How is that not smart?
I mean, I'm not saying that you were dumb for that. You've been dumb. You've been dumb for a lot of reasons. But this may be the smartest thing you ever had really argued.
I think I'm 2 for 2 on these debates today because the ALC.
Oh, you definitely weren't. No, you're not.
2004 ALCS was a lot better than your 2016, whatever it was, Cavs Warriors thing. And calling Christian McCaffrey the best running back in the league is easy money.
Christian, yeah, I would say yeah.
And regardless of, and he's the face of the program. He's the face of the team now. Cam's gone.
Is Christian better than his dad?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at that? That's messed up.
Not even close. But
he's a legend out there in Denver, man.
Hey, I got no problem with Ed, man. Ed McCaffrey was good. I think his first name was Ed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a solid receiver. He was never this.
He was never that.
He was never his son. That's almost as bad as you saying last week that Vlade Divac was like the
Hall of Famer.
A big deal.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Not when he was with the Kings.
What do you mean, not when he was with the King? Your whole career has to do with you being a Hall of Famer, not just the last. Like, he played for the Kings for what? That was like a good 5-season run.
So for the people that are lost and confused right now, my co-host last week said that Chris Webber
played with Hall of Famers,
was underrated and had a lot of help around him on the Kings.
I never said he was overrated or underrated. Never said that. I just said your talent is what your talent is. I was upset because Shaq made the comments about if C. Webb would have got drafted by the Spurs, he would have been Tim Duncan. I don't agree with that. Your talent is what your talent is. Tim Duncan's still Tim Duncan in Golden State.
Tim Duncan would not have been Tim Duncan in Golden State or Sacramento. He would have been.
It's asinine. It's blasphemous. It's blasphemous.
He'd have been that solid power forward.
Oh, my God.
And Chris Webber would be the guy going to the Hall of Fame.
No.
Playing with Pop.
If he's on that Spurs team, B, he's not – they're not even going to the final. They're not winning those championships.
You don't remember Chris Webber.
I do remember Chris Webber. He was flashy. He was good, and he called the timeout.
See, stop bringing the timeout up, man. Timeout,
some would argue, is the most famous play in college sports of all time.
That has nothing to do with his NBA career. Nothing. Talking about his NBA career and how solid he was, and if he was drafted to the Spurs, he would have been just as good as Tim Duncan. That's all we're saying.
No, we're not saying that because I'm not saying that. That's not true.
Me and Shaq, people that know about basketball, are saying that.
Shaq can't say that.
Shaq played with both of them.
Shaq gets drafted to Phoenix Suns and never goes to L.A. Is he still Shaq?
Well, he was drafted to Atlanta.
Exactly.
He was drafted to Orlando.
Exactly. So if he gets drafted by Phoenix and never goes to LA, say he plays in Charlotte. Then you know what? Say let's put Alonzo Mourning on LA and put Shaq on Charlotte. Is he not still Shaq? Is Alonzo Mourning now Shaquille O'Neal? No, your talent is what your talent is.
No, but I'm gonna say this, and it might come off wrong when I say it, but I'm not diminishing Tim Duncan. But he wasn't the force Shaq was. Shaq would have been a force anywhere he went.
See again,
Tim Duncan is not that kind of guy that would have been a dominant player wherever he went.
Your talent is what your talent is.
Pop had that man groomed to be the next great thing, and Pop did a great job with him. It was a great team. But understand, it is what it is. Like, they both had each other and made each other great. But Chris Webber in that system, he wouldn't have lasted 20 years with Pop or whatever it was, because him and Pop probably would have got into it. But Chris Webber would have had just as much success while he was there in San Antonio. That's all I'm saying.
It's a shame.
Me and Shaq agree.
I think you guys are thinking that there's good players, there's great players, and there's guys that are phenomenal. And they're separated by those categories. And C-Web and Duncan are not in the same category.
They could have been.
No, they could not have been.
Saying.
Your talent is what your talent is.
All right, so if that's the case, why did Chris Webber have more success in college than Tim Duncan did?
They had the Fab Five.
If your talent is what your talent is.
Because they had the Fab Five. They had almost the top 5 players in the country go to one place.
And the best player on that team was Chris Webber.
Be that as it may, it's arguable. It's arguable. You could argue that. You could argue that.
Oh, my God. Chris Webber was a bigger recruit than Tim
Duncan? He was a 7-footer. Of course he was a bigger recruit.
No, he was first of all, Webber was 6'10". Duncan was probably like 6'11".
Okay.
They're around the same size.
He's a 7-footer.
They're around the same size.
And he played in the United States.
He did.
Duncan didn't play in the United States. You're always a harder recruit when you don't play in the United States.
At that time, yes.
Probably. Absolutely, at that time. You had no internet. You had nothing. You had internet, probably. You had internet then. Just not the way it is now. You were looking at no highlight tape on YouTube.
But what I'm saying is that they both went to college. One was dominant, and Tim Duncan was good because he was obviously good. He was number 1 pick. But he wasn't Chris Webber in college. That's all I'm saying. If Chris Webber came out of college better and went to San Antonio, how would you not say that?
Where did Tim Duncan go? Tim Duncan went to what? Wake Forest?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Went to Wake Forest.
It wasn't even a huge school. So he wasn't highly recruited, probably.
It was in the ACC.
So what?
It's big-time basketball.
Yeah, so is the SEC for football. So what? Doesn't mean you're great. He was the best player. If you're great, if you're that great, being that highly recruited, you're not going to Wake Forest in the ACC when there's UNC and Duke in the ACC.
Maybe somebody had ties to his country or his homeland. We don't know.
No,
we don't know the story behind him going to Wake Forest and why he went to Wake Forest. But I'm sure he had other offers.
Because somebody probably knew him from over in the Virgin Islands.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Somebody probably had to hook up.
No.
Somebody was the plug.
If you're highly recruited, you're going to Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, places like that. You're not going to Wake Forest.
All I'm saying is Chris Webber was better coming out of college than Tim Duncan was. So imagine if he would have linked up with Pop and the Admiral. It would have been a match made in heaven, just like
no, it would not have been.
The only thing that could have stopped Chris Webber in that situation was his attitude. But he would have bought in.
No, it would have been Sprewell and whoever that Knicks coach was when he got choked.
No, he wouldn't have been.
Yeah, it would have been. Man, Pop is mad disrespectful.
But you're used to that because Pop was disrespectful with Dave Robb.
No, we allow it now. We accept it. Like, oh, that's just him. It's like Bill Belichick. He's always been a jerk. But
when
at press conference, you just give him a free pass because he's a legend.
When you can coach your best player hard and get disrespectful with him, then yes, it is what it is. The whole team takes it. So Tim Duncan came up under that. So of course he's going to feel like, hey, I can take it because Tim.
So you're telling me
Admiral took it.
C-Web could be, if he was drafted into the same system that Duncan was drafted in, that he would be the best power forward ever lived and not Tim Duncan?
Yes. It's a possibility.
That's not what I asked you. Not what I asked you. I didn't ask you if it was a possibility.
I would lean towards yes.
You're an idiot.
Different systems, man. Different systems break people. He almost took the Kings with Vlade Divac in his 60s.
Hall of Famer.
In his 60s.
In his lower 30s.
You know, 7-footers can't pay past 35, and Vlade was 40 when he was with the Kings.
Vlade Divac wasn't 7 foot.
And regardless, he was tall. And a borderline decent point guard who turned the ball over a lot.
That is not true at all. He's a 14-8 guy.
14-8 and 6. 6 turnovers.
6 turnovers doesn't lose games.
Look, Chris Webber took that and almost got into the finals over one of the best teams ever in the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq.
I don't even feel like the offense went through C-Web in Sacramento.
Oh my God.
He was more like a Haslam on Miami. He was a cleanup guy.
You're crazy. You gonna call him? You don't ever compare Chris Webber to a Haslam.
He's Haslam.
No, don't ever do that.
Haslam, man.
You should throw your computer away, man. That's some junk. Okay. You're gonna compare Chris Webber to Udonis Haslam?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know Udonis if he didn't play with Dwayne Wade.
You wouldn't know C-Web if he didn't play with Lottie.
Oh my
God. Lottie.
Oh my God. You're almost as dumb as Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott partying this weekend.
Yo, but see, the thing is that I don't believe they said how many people were at that party. If it was under 10, it was fine.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't under 10?
No, I don't know, but it wasn't fine because the cops came.
Well, it doesn't matter if the cops came. The cops came because the music was loud.
In that neighborhood, no, because they came because they wasn't doing – they broke the social distance and whatever rules or whatever's going on down there in Dallas.
Not if they had less than 10 people.
All I'm saying, it had to be more or else the cops are not coming.
They had to be doing some kind of quarantining because the picture came out with Ezekiel Elliott, man, he looked bad.
But he always does. He's always in quarantine mode.
Nah, but this is different, man. This is like it looked bad. He literally looked like one of them dogs. You ever see one on the dog show where they have all the hairs over their eyes so you can't see their eyes or nothing? I forget what kind of dogs they are. It was like a terrier, some kind of terrier out there, but it was bad, yo. He looked terrible.
But did he look in shape?
No, he didn't actually. He looked like he'd been eating donuts. But I don't know. He's a naturally thick dude.
He's one donut away from being fat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a naturally thick dude. Like not like he doesn't wow you with his physique, but he's still a fast guy. He put them burners on.
Well, I think that's a knock on him. Every year he's getting a little bigger, and he has to keep his weight down to keep playing at the level he was playing at.
Maybe he ends up becoming the bus.
But he was never a guy known for having a sleek haircut and looking sharp in public.
I don't know. At Ohio State, man, he had a nice little haircut, man. Did his thing.
They probably had rules to follow.
Hey, man, we got to go to break, though. And since
Take us out?
No, you take us out since I messed it up last time.
Hey, we'll be right back. Remember, you're listening to Opinionated Facts on RTF Sports Network /TCP Production. We'll be right back. And we're back. You're listening to Opinionated Facts on the RTF Sports Network / TCP Production. So we have the draft next week. If
What
you had
draft?
a chance, we have the NFL draft. The only thing that is
That's next week already?
It's fairly relevant in these times of no sports. It might get the highest ratings ever.
You know what? If it was on TV, I believe that. But it's on TV. But I think if it was live, like in Las Vegas, I believe that would be true. But because it's not, I'm not sure. I don't know. It might get more viewers if it was on IG Live.
IG Live has been a great place during my quarantine.
IG Live been getting it. So I think if it was on IG Live, maybe we'd be working with something. Maybe.
It's gonna get ratings regardless though, because nobody's doing anything. I don't care if Roger Goodell's announcing people in his basement or if he's announcing them on Water Street in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's gonna get ratings because people need to see something that is relevant to sports.
Yeah. It's gonna be some big names called that night. So yeah, I agree. I think the ratings will be crazy. But it's just gonna be a different watch, man. It could be a boring watch. It could be the draft itself is not necessarily something that entertaining anyway. But I think like last year down in Nashville, they made it entertaining because it was 600,000 people walking around down there. It was crazy. They made it entertaining just to see that. So the fact that people are going to be sitting in their basements watching it, that's going to be different.
If you had the first pick, are you sold on Burrow?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like it seems to happen every other year, where there's two quarterbacks that are fairly close together. Like, I remember when it happened with Carson Wentz and in golf. And golf went number one. And I think Eagles traded up to get Wentz at number two. But they were okay with either one, even though I thought Wentz was the better quarterback. I feel like it's a can't miss. I think if you go Burrow or you go Tua, you can't miss. I personally, without the injury, I'd go Tua in heartbeat. But since you're not able to work them out, you're not able to see them, it's a little bit of a risk there. But is it a risk you want to take? I like Tua. I'd try to take Tua personally.
And being Cincinnati, they can't really miss.
No,
they got
to go with the short game.
So the most short thing would be Burrow. The only thing that worries me about him is he's only did it at a high level. Well, he only played as well as he played last year. Like, he wasn't that good the year before. He was average. He had a great year last year, and now he's projecting himself as the number one pick, which is great for him. I'm not knocking him for it. What I'm saying is I don't know if I'm sold on 1 year of great football with great players around you at LSU.
Nah, you see it a lot in college football. These guys have these great years. They only were a starter for a year, and you're just not sure what they're going to be. Like Kyler Murray, we're not sure what he's going to be. Mitch Trubisky, you see that's turning out to be a freaking shit show. When he's going to Chicago, I thought Trubisky was pretty athletic, but to only have 1 year of film on him and think he was just this great thing coming in, I don't know. His size kind of wows you a little bit, I guess. But Kyler Murray,
he's a freakish athlete.
Yeah, but their head coach down there didn't deserve the head coach position. Kingsbury, that's who's got the job down there.
Yeah, that was a terrible hire.
Yeah, so even though he probably didn't deserve to be drafted number one, because they had – who else was coming out that year that would have won number one if it wasn't for Kingsbury getting a job in Arizona?
I forget.
Kyler Murray wasn't necessarily going number one. He just fit the system that Kingsbury was going to run. That's why he was going number one.
Yeah.
I forget. Another quarterback. I just forget who it was.
The thing about Tua, which would have been the safe bet, is you saw more film on him. You saw what he can do over a course of time, which is unlike you didn't see that with Burrow. Only thing that scares you with Tua is the injuries.
Who was the second quarterback taken? Daniel Jones. He went to New York. Was he second quarterback taken or third?
He might have been second. Wasn't that because that was like a crazy dumb pick too that everybody was shocked about.
Yeah. I think it was him.
Because Eli Manning's coached him and all that mess.
Well, I know Kyler Murray went number one. No one thought he should have at 5'9". Daniel Jones. There was somebody else up there too. I just can't get it there yet. I have to think about it. Got to think about it.
So we're both in agreement that Tua is the better player, but shouldn't go first because of the injuries.
I don't think the injuries matter. I think the injury, the one he suffered, the dislocated hip, that's just different, man. Like, I played alongside a guy that dislocated his knee, never played again, never played another down. And you see things like that happen. It's like, that kind of injury you may never be right from again. So that's the only thing that I looked at. Like, he's been hurt before, a little ankle injury here, ankle injury there. He holds on the ball. He holds onto the ball a little bit when he should get rid of it. That's the reason for a lot of his injuries. But they'll coach that out of him in the league. I'm not too worried about that. But he's clearly the better player, in my opinion. But Burrow balled out this year. He won the Heisman. He won every award you could possibly win.
And Burrow's a hometown kid, too, because he's from Ohio.
Yeah, and undefeated. So, yeah, like, I get it.
He don't even want to go to Cincinnati.
Nah, he's never too sold. He never seems too sold on. Every time they ask him, he's like, well, anybody that wants to take me, I would love to go. Like, he never says, like, oh, yeah, Cincinnati has to play for me.
Yeah, he don't seem too thrilled about going. Well, he's been around. Like, they said he only lost, 2 games since his sophomore year in high school. So, he's used to winning, and he wants to be a winner. So going to Cincinnati is going to be a little adjustment change for
him. They're not – they got A.J. Green coming back. They got John Ross. They got some talent over there.
No, they don't. They're going to be bad. They're going to be bad. Again.
They got some talent, man. You can't say that.
Cincinnati is going to be bad, and I would say they're going to be bad for at least 3 more years.
I ain't saying they're going to be something that they go to the playoffs or make it 500, like they're going to be 8-8 or something. I don't think that. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be as bad as you think like they were this year. I think they have a legitimate shot of being, or at least, being 6-10 team, 7-9 team.
Burrow better come in there and perform like, I don't know. I was going to say Jesus Christ, but maybe some people don't believe in him. But Burrow needs to come in there and perform like the greatest thing ever for that team to even be competitive.
Is there any chance? Okay, we're assuming Burrow goes first. Is there any chance Jordan Love goes before Tua? Because Todd McShay thinks so.
Yeah, they're comparing him to Patty Mahomes.
And that's a great comparison to have.
He comes out of Utah State. That makes me nervous.
Nah, man. Carson Wentz came out of North Dakota. Joe Flacco came out of Delaware.
Joe Flacco went to Pittsburgh first.
Doesn't matter. He graduated in Delaware. That's where he got drafted out of.
Wentz can't stay healthy. It's just these things that, that makes you nervous.
Russell Wilson went to North Carolina State.
Yeah, it's a good school. That's football.
Utah State and North Carolina State, so usually a good game. That'd be a good game.
Oh, man, nah.
Yeah.
Not even that. He wasn't even
Colin Kaepernick went to Nevada. Nobody played football in Nevada.
Colin Kaepernick did go to Nevada, and that's a good one. That holds up a little bit of your argument. But Jordan Love, he won what? 7-8 games at Utah State.
Yeah.
I can't get behind that and stamp it. Like maybe if you're gonna surprise me. Who knows? Maybe he had poor coaching. Like Patrick Mahomes. He didn't have poor coaching, but something was going on because you can't look this good under Andy Reid and look like an average quarterback in college.
He was not he did not look like an average quarterback at Texas Tech, man. He was out there he was dropping dimes.
You don't know that because Texas Tech throws the ball every down, so you didn't really know. And then, he gets under Andy Reid, and now he looks like the best quarterback ever.
People are ready to give that to him, but I don't know if I agree.
I don't agree either. But he's on that trajectory.
When you see a talent that you haven't seen before, it's easy to automatically make that argument. Oh, he's one of the greats. Oh, he's the best I've ever seen. Because they never seen that. They never seen that talent. Same thing with LeBron. Even though I feel like LeBron's the best player ever in the NBA, he's just unlike anything anyone's ever seen when he first came in the league. 6'8", 6'9". He can pass. He can run the point. He can run the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can score whenever he wants to. He's a triple threat. Like he was everything, and people hadn't seen that really. Like they had seen Oscar Robertson do it, but even not at 6'9". So it was different. So I get why people, they don't see the certain talents, and they say, "Oh, he might be the greatest I've ever seen." No, he's just unlike anything you've ever seen. I don't make him the greatest you've ever seen.
Well, unlike anything we ever seen, he got an MVP, a Super Bowl championship, and a Super Bowl MVP in 3 years.
3 years as a starter. He's been in the league 4 years, right? He didn't start the first year.
Yeah. Come on. He's on trajectory to be the best ever.
I don't know about that. Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, his third year?
And what are people calling him right now?
His first year as a starter, though.
And what do people call him Brady?
I mean, he's the GOAT, but that's because he won 6.
All right.
That's different. What's what I'm saying? This is because he won. Well, yeah, I guess. You got an argument.
And Brady wasn't, the catalyst behind his team winning those. He played well in a couple of them, but Patrick Mahomes is the reason his team is getting there.
That team is loaded.
They're good.
That team is loaded, yo.
They're good. But Patrick Mahomes is the best player on that team.
Yeah. I mean,
you put Alex Smith back on there, they're not in the Super Bowl.
I mean, you got Kelsey, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Watkins, that thing, like, it's Harmon. You got so many people. You had Shady McCoy back there during the season. Like, can you imagine if they had Hunt? Like, they let Hunt go.
They did let Hunt go.
They let that guy just walk. Can you imagine?
Man. Yeah, they're loaded. But with that said, Mahomes is still the best player on that team. You take him off, they're not a Super Bowl team.
They lost in the what? They had Alex Smith as their quarterback last. They were in the playoffs with him. They just weren't taking that extra step.
And you match him up with Andy Reid. It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, Andy's the quarterback whisperer.
And Andy, think about Andy. He coached some good quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback he ever had.
See, how can you say that in 3 years, man?
You can just look at it.
I had Donovan McNabb. He coached Brett Favre.
He's better than Brett Favre already. I'm taking him over Brett Favre.
Oh, my God, yeah. You're so disrespectful.
Taking over Brett Favre, taking him over Donovan McNabb, throwing bounce passes on hitches.
You got to chill with your disdain from Donovan, man. I thought you supported people, man. You don't support nobody.
I got nothing but respect for Donovan McNabb, man.
You don't have enough respect for him.
Donovan's my guy.
No, he's not.
He's my guy.
No, he's not.
Hey, let's touch on my man Fabian Lovett too. Now I want to give him a special shout out.
Yeah, whatever.
This is the defensive tackle that transferred out of Mississippi State after hearing his coach say some, I won't say, I will say racially insensitive tweets 2 weeks ago.
He didn't say anything in the tweet. It was the picture that was offensive. Nothing he said was offensive.
Well, yes, it was. He said, if you feel offended, then I apologize. What do you mean, if you feel offended?
Because some people don't feel offended, B.
What skin tone are them people that don't feel offended?
I wasn't offended.
Man, you're like 25% Caucasian anyway.
What the hell did that have to do with anything?
That's probably why you didn't feel offended.
Wow.
Mississippi State, this is sad, man. 2020 and this stuff's going on. It's sad.
Yo, you are looking too deep into it. Like, you really are.
Davion Lovett is going to Florida State, where he will be coached by a guy who is
Taggart? What's his name down there?
The coach from Memphis. They are, matter of fact, Florida State's cleaning up right now in this recruiting. But he'll be treated right. He won't be having to. You don't got to worry about your coach being all up in the tweets. You got to worry about that no more. He's going to a racially
insensitive,
sensitive coach now.
Well, I think Mike Leach is going to classes for racial sensitivity or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, woohoo! That should really do it.
It may though, man. Like, you don't understand. I told you last week, there's no way Mike Leach could understand what it's like to be black, or he's never been black before. He don't know.
Florida State's coach is Mike Norvell.
It's not a big name, but it'll do for now. Florida State can't get any worse than what they were last year.
He was at Memphis last year. Florida State's embarrassing right now. It's hard to watch, but I mean, if he can turn them around like he did Memphis, they'll be all right. And it's going to start with my guy Fabian Lovett, baby.
I bet you he don't even see the field this year.
Well, he might have to sit out a year. Hopefully, they give him a hardship because his coach is racist.
His coach is not a racist.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Fabian, if he was at Mississippi State anyway, chances are he probably can't start for Florida State.
No, you're thinking of the old Florida State. You're not thinking of this Florida State that loses 8 games and loses to like Louisiana Tech last year or something.
Like, yeah, he might be play for this Florida.
Like this Florida State team is not what it used to be in the past. I want to compliment you on your fancy headphones though. Look at those.
Oh, you know what I mean? I mean, they beats, but I have what they call a skin, I guess, on them, like your own little sticker design. You wrap them in.
Mine are beats too. You try to put my beats the same?
I could probably do them, but I have to order. I need to know exactly what those are, and then yours are going to be a lot smaller, obviously, but I can make it happen probably.
I don't like how you have like a size thing going on here with my headphones. They fit perfectly fine.
Pause.
Anyway.
I have no size thing going on at all.
Anyway, back to Fabian Lovett. You don't think he did the right thing with transferring?
I mean, as a person, you got to do what's best for you. So I can't say, oh, he was being a baby about it. No,
how do you feel? How do you feel? You feel he was being a baby?
I don't feel like I would have been offended. I don't feel like I would have transferred. I feel like if I had an issue with it, I would have approached him like as a man to man, like a coach. I would say, "Hey, coach, man, I got to talk to you, man. I feel a way about this," and I would have heard him out probably. But that's the 34-year-old me speaking, not the 19-year-old kid that I was in college, and so I don't know. But at the point I am now, yeah, I hope. I believe that that's how I would have approached the situation. But he feel like he felt like he did what was best for him and his family and whatever, and so he did what he did. And I'm fine with that. I have no issue with him. I just hope he gets to play.
Mississippi State is so desperate to try to compete with the Alabamas and the Floridas of the SEC, and they won't even discipline their coach or fire him.
But he don't deserve to be fired.
He definitely deserves to be fired.
I don't agree with that.
If he was a black coach and said a racially insensitive tweet about white people, would he still have his job?
Yes.
After he locked some kid in the closet previously.
Black people get away with saying the most racist things.
No.
Yes.
Not professionals. Maybe in the barbershop.
You know how messed it up it is for black people? That you can't say other bad things about black people or you'll lose your job. You can say what you want about white people. I heard Charles Barkley on TNT one time say that's why he hates white people. He still has a job.
He was probably joking around with
Ernie.
Ernie.
But I heard Rod Smith, whatever his name was from ESPN, when he called RG3 a cornball brother. He's like, I think he votes Republican. His wife is white, and he got fired for that. Well, not necessarily fired. They just didn't renegotiate his contract. So once it was up after that year, he was done. That's the same thing as being fired, if you ask me. He said something bad about another black person. So I think the sensitivity comes from black people can say what they want as long as it's not about other black people.
Or white people.
No, they can say what they want about white people.
If he would have said something about John Elway being
a racist?
Yeah. No.
He'll have a job.
If he would have said something racist about John Elway, saying like, I'm not going to say that, but just saying something inappropriate,
I think it's
racially insensitive, he wouldn't have a job.
I don't agree. But we'll talk about it next week maybe. We'll talk about Rudy Gobert next week. Maybe he should be suspended when the season starts. Who knows? But we got 40 seconds to go, B.
40 seconds. Give your shout-outs, man.
Man, shout out to the healthcare workers and to the teachers and to all the essential people, the store clerks. Actually, my exterminator showed up this morning. Shout out to him.
Grocery store people?
No, my exterminator showed up this morning. Shout out to him.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to add one for you.
Oh, I said them already.
No, you just said store worker. We didn't know what kind of store.
All essential stores. But shout out to the even pest control, man. He showed up. Actually, my frat brother, he showed up. Terminate my house. Can't believe it.
Well, I'm gonna say shout out to the 7-letter family. This is our first show not in the studio together, so we hope you guys enjoyed our struggles. Big shout out again to Fabian Lovett. If you ever need anything, reach out to us.
No, reach out to him.
Reach out to us over here at Opinionated Facts. You can also follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter. Opinionated Facts on all 3 of those platforms. I got nothing else for you, man. Make sure you guys tune in next week. Oh, stay laid up, stay prayed up, stay out the way, and listen to what some old folks have to say. See you guys next week.